It is evenings with John and Duncan. Wednesday means it is the Wednesday report, and we start with the MILO challenge of the week. And I feel comfortable right now with a football at my feet, and these two gentlemen, of course, have the football at their feet as well. John, looking forward to having a very good football freestyler in the house.
Exactly. Former national champion, I believe. Are you still the current champion?
Yes, still the current
Still the current champion.
Still the
Three
champion.
times, I believe.
Yes.
National champion for Singapore freestyle Pana, is it?
Pana.
Okay.
Pana football. Now, of course, this is the first time we're having a guest on the MILO challenge of the week, and today we have the MILO freestyle challenge. Now, before we head into the challenge, we're going to get Sean here to teach us a couple of freestyle tricks.
Exactly, because you know, football and freestyle, it's very, very different. Football, as we know, it's 11 aside, you score a goal, that's it. But for freestyle, it's very individualistic. Obviously, you can do a partner-up kind of situation, but it's all practice, isn't it, Sean?
Yes.
So how hard do you work at your craft?
So we really train a lot because it's a very individual sport. We spend many hours trying to craft the skills individually. So there's a lot of footwork, a lot of touches, kind of improvement instead of team-based learning. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I try to look cool when I walk down the HDB when I go and play football, right? And, you know, what are some little tricks that you can teach me to get up my game a little bit when I have a football at my feet in terms of tricks?
So I think a good trick to start off is a flick up, because a lot of freestyle tricks we do juggling.
Okay.
So I'm going to teach you a flick up so we can go into a juggling movement, all right?
Sure, okay.
So for the flick up, it's very simple. It's just basically one movement. We're going to place our left leg firmly on the ground beside the ball.
So your dominant foot is the one that you put.
No, your weaker foot is the one that you place beside the ball.
Okay.
So we're going to use the dominant foot to flick the ball.
Okay.
So the tip to this trick is your weak foot, when you plant it there, you cannot move it. It has to be firmly on the ground.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you. And that's how you flick the ball out. Just one movement.
Oh, do that again for the camera. It's too quick for me to even catch that, man.
Okay, so we're going to place the ball, place the foot firmly on the floor, and use your right leg to flick it up. Yes. So if you notice, your leg kind of lift up a bit when you flick up.
Yeah.
So when you lift up a bit, the ball won't have this effect where it comes up. You got to place it firmly on the ground.
But it's like a reflex, no, John. You know, like the ball coming out.
Yeah, you want to lift it up,
so want
right?
to get it up.
Okay, I got it this time.
Fantastic.
Yes, nice.
Great job, Duncan.
Nice, good.
All right, my street cred is up a little bit. Okay, what about John? What can you teach him?
All right, so this is called a slap. It's a very simple freestyle trick that many of us do. So the first step is we're going to put the ball in between our legs. Okay, so use it when...
move the cereal box out of the way for a bit. Yes, so you can see me mess up. Yeah.
Okay, from here, we're going to use our strong foot to bring the ball to the side over here. Yes, good. Okay, for a tip for this is, instead of bringing the ball straight to the side, we're going to try to lift it up a bit of 45 degrees upwards here. So you see there's a lot of gap at the bottom.
Up
Good.
and down.
Yes. So the next motion is a down-up motion where we're going to lift the ball up. So here, we're going to go down and up to flick the ball up. Yes, almost, that was close.
Almost there.
I'm almost there.
Well, you got the
Only
technique
one
right, John?
movement. Yeah.
Yeah, the
pretty
technique is
cool.
correct. Okay, one more try.
Okay.
Bring it up, down, up.
Yeah,
Nice.
well done. JY
Managed to get
in
it
the
out
house.
under control
All
of it.
So
All
I
right.
think we've just put ourselves in the running for XP member number
Member
5 and
and
number
6.
6. Okay, so now we have an obstacle course here, and we get into the MILO challenge of the week proper right now. And it was inspired by a MILO challenge in Australia, wasn't it, John?
That's right. In June this year, of course, freestyle challenge, you can go onto TikTok with hashtag MILO freestyle challenge, and you'll be able to see some of the interesting stuff that they've done. So actually, we have it available, and let's have a look at it right now.
To the left, to the right. Look at this play coming together.
Oh, we seem to have a new star in the making here. Go, go, go!
To the left, to the right. Look at this play coming together.
Oh, we seem to have a new star in the making here. Go, go, go!
So incorporating some fitness as well towards the end, not just the typical freestyle football, but of course, we have a special obstacle course today, just to get things started and make it a little bit more interesting. It doesn't matter how we get it through in the end, but we just need to get the ball into the MILO, the giant MILO mug that we
Yeah.
have here. And so how shall we go about it, Duncan?
I think, you know, we've learned a few tricks here,
Yeah.
right, today. Sean has been a very good teacher. So let's try his trick, and then we juggle it into the MILO mug.
Incorporating what he taught
Incorporate
us.
what he teach, you know, like,
Okay.
so, you know, the teacher, and then we try and become the master of it all. But then at the end of it, I think this is the highlight of why you're all tuning in. We want Sean to go through this obstacle course with an original kind of repertoire of your freestyle skills and try and get it into the mug. We haven't prepared you, obviously, of any of this. We want you to just come and be original and try and get it in the MILO mug. But first of all, John, let's see if...
Let's
if-
see
yeah,
how
let's see
creative
how it
we can
goes.
be
Let's see how it goes.
without a rendition.
Okay,
Feel free.
so you want to go... Oh, I go first,
Yeah, I mean, you've always gone first.
So our-
We're just
so-
going to make some space for Duncan.
Foot right in front, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just supposed to... Like that,
Get it up.
like that, like that, like that, like that.
Oh! Can I have a second go at it?
Oh, it's not as easy as it
Okay.
looks, huh?
You can...
It needs some distance, I think.
Overshot.
Maybe one more try.
Shot.
One more
No
try.
worries. You can be creative. You don't need to use your feet, you know.
You can hit it in.
Can hit it in.
Technically, any
Okay,
part,
okay,
any
okay.
part of
Okay.
your body.
Okay.
Oh! Close
Okay,
one
okay,
there.
never mind, never mind.
All right.
I did the trick that he taught me well, right? It's just the
You
other
did,
parts-
you did. That part, I
the
think...
coaches
I-
of my past
I-
have failed me,
yeah,
but not
I
Sean.
think, no, I think you did a... You did a great job.
Okay, 3 goes, your turn.
You got it
JY.
successfully. Now, for me to even get it up once, this is going to be the interesting bit. Okay, going to pull up my...
Oh, there you go.
Pants
It's
a
getting
bit,
serious now
roll
when
up the
John is pulling
sleeves.
up his jeans
But
here.
just want to make sure that... Okay, so I bring my feet together.
Yes.
This ball is a little slippery, and bring it up.
Oh, no.
When you
Okay.
use the smaller one, would it be easier for you? The smaller
I
one.
don't know. Is it easier with a big or a small ball?
Smaller one might be easier.
Either way, I don't... No, I think I'll use the bigger one. Might be a bit...
Whoa!
Nice.
Whoa! Oh, well done. I'm not sure how
right.
you're going to top that, Sean, but let's try. So obviously, you know,
That's-
you've
yeah,
taught,
just
you've
gotta
taught
get
me
it
and
out.
John really, really well, but
Yeah.
we want you to go and wow us right now.
Yeah, wow us.
Use the MILO obstacle course and get it into the mug
All right.
at any time you want.
Okay.
Oh.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's really...
Oh,
there.
Off the post.
Did everything, yeah.
Hey, but his juggling skills not bad, huh?
Yeah.
And then he's like footwork.
Perfect control, actually.
I
Perfect
give you one more try
control.
to get
One
it
more
in.
try. One
Yeah,
more try.
one more try.
Oops.
Can literally walking.
Oh,
it
yes.
into- literally walking it into the.
Oh. Oh, it's okay, Sean. This is not part of your game, right? It's not about
part of the
putting it
game, it's
into
getting-
the
yeah,
MILO mug. It's all about the
It's
tricks and
all
flicks
the other
and-
tricks and flicks that came before that.
And I think what we've learned in this particular challenge is that, you know, John, you have the flicks, you have the tricks, but you also have the accuracy.
Yeah.
So sign him up.
Yes.
Sign him
I
up.
got a lesson
Sign
on
him up
accuracy
for-
now.
Well, we hope you guys had fun. You can definitely do this at home. Give us your entries.
Yeah.
We actually have something to be given away this week, of course. A MILO flask.
Oh, wow.
And
You're
yeah,
unboxing
so
it as well.
unboxing it for
Wow.
you. Now, all you have to do for you guys is to tag us in your entries. You can do it on IG stories. You can do it on as a post on Instagram,
Yeah.
and all you need to do is tag us, and you stand a chance to win this MILO flask over here.
Well
So show us how creative you can be.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Sean, for joining us
No
for
problem.
this particular MILO challenge of the week. John, well done on getting it in the mug.
I think well done to all of us, all three of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I surprised myself.
We
on
had
this
fun.
Everybody
particular-
managed to do the freestyle trick.
So get going on the challenge and tag us, and we will see what's the best one, and we will showcase it in the very next episode. Milo Flask up for grabs as well. All right.
All right. Thanks,
Whoa,
Sean.
well done.
New Milo 搞小弟 less sugar with whole grain cereal. Get the goodness of whole grains with more fiber and protein. The healthier breakfast choice.
We have plenty of fun on Evenings with John and Duncan, and rightly so. It's some stuff that we do is really lighthearted, but on this particular segment, we want to highlight something that has come to the fore recently, and that is safe sports in Asia and in Singapore, and it's very relevant in this day and age with harassment within sport, isn't it, John?
That's right. Sports Singapore, for the first time ever, conducted its Safe Sport in Asia webinar earlier this afternoon in partnership with Japan Sport Association and India Olympic Committee, as well as the NSSU Coach Developer Academy, highlighting some key points surrounding safe sport. Now, we will be having Azhar Yusof, head of CoachSG, on this segment shortly and ask him a few questions about safe sport. But before we go into that, I think it bears to mind some of the cases that have been highly publicized globally as well as in Singapore. Now, Sports Singapore did mention that its stance in this area is very clear, and that's why it's taking the lead and an initiative, partnering its many partners locally, regionally, and also globally to bring greater awareness and also to educate the public on the topic. Now, we're going to have a look at some of the recent cases. One particular one, of course, involving fitness instructor Cheryl Loh. And in this particular case, Cheryl, I think, has actually reached out and spoken to us that it was her intention to bring a greater awareness to such incidents in the fitness industry that are still prevalent in Singapore, and that there's no room for debate. This is pretty much her stance, and a very strong one at that. So let's have a look at what Cheryl had to say.
Hi everyone. First of all, I would like to thank everyone out there for your massive support on an issue like this one, which many of us find very hard to speak up about. I want to make clear that I didn't share a video to start a debate on who is right and who is wrong, because there shouldn't be a debate at all, and there shouldn't be a need to prove that this action isn't ethical. I shared this specific incident to show that this kind of behavior is still prevalent in our society. I want to raise awareness on this issue and to make clear that this kind of behavior is unacceptable. People should understand that it is very difficult in these situations with a teacher-student relationship to speak out, because you have placed all of your trust in the person that is coaching you. And as a student, you will not be expecting that trust to be abused or used against you. While we all expect victims to lodge a police report, we need to remember that these are the people who actually went through the horrible ordeal and are likely to feel insecure and uncomfortable dealing with such a situation, and probably for the first time. And this is when we all need to help each other as people and support one another in the best way we can. And we need to respect the victim's decision, whether we like it or not. It's a shame that instead of apologizing and admitting to his mistake, he had to take up such a defensive position, which shows that it is even more necessary for all of us to stand up for each other. It is so heartwarming to see how many people out there actually care, and to know that we are never gonna be in this alone. And I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate every single one of your messages and comments showing us full of support that is helping us get through this phase together. And I believe that together we can make a difference.
You know, sportsmen, fitness ambassadors, athletes, they have a hard enough job just doing their job. As an athlete, what you do is your job. So, to be safe in the knowledge that you can do your job without having to worry about outside factors, that's so important. And an athlete, doing their best in competitions and just in the general life, and not to have that worry overbearing on them of what may not be right in what they're doing in their daily lives.
That's right. And we're going to get Azhar to speak to us right about now. Of course, from what I understand, the Safe Sport Commission that was formed not just too long ago, I believe it's just last year, a lot has been talked about of the cases from 2018 and all that. But 2019 was when the Safe Sport Commission was kind of officially formed with the various bodies, which we can find out a bit more from Azhar. And of course, the definition that they followed was one that was defined by the IOC in 2016. And that is that safe sport is defined as an athletic environment that is respectful, equitable, and free from all forms of harassment and abuse, non-accidental violence. This is something that Sport Singapore has really expanded on, and they talked about in the webinar earlier today.
Yeah, so Azhar Yusof was one of the 3 speakers in the webinar, head of CoachSG, and he's with us for this particular segment. And Azhar, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, what are some of the safe sport efforts that's being done in Singapore at the moment?
Safe sport is still in its infancy here in Singapore. A lot of people out there, particularly those in the sporting fraternity, still do not understand the entire definition of safe sport. Some are confused between safe sport and sport safe. So sport safe, we talk about using proper equipment, playing or training at a proper venue or facility. So that's sport safe. And it's different from safe sport. So in safe sport, we align ourselves to the definition by the International Olympic Council, and they outline 5 different types of harassment and abuse, including sexual harassment, including psychological and physical abuse. So I think it is really, really important that everyone in the sporting community understand the definition of safe sport, understand that some of the practices that perhaps were deemed appropriate or acceptable in the past are no longer acceptable, are no longer appropriate. So it really requires all in the sporting community to reflect and rethink our practices, rethink the way we do things, and to not do or to stop doing all these practices, or be it coaching or be it in leadership or management, to ensure that we protect our athletes, protect the participant in sport, and therefore safeguard sport in general.
Thanks for that, Azhar. Well, physical, sexual, and psychological abuse still exists in Singapore in the sporting fraternity. We know that for a fact. So the question now becomes, what can members of public and what can members of the sporting fraternity do to educate themselves about this topic?
Safe sport came to the fore really in 2018, following the highly publicized case of the US gymnastics doctor, Dr. Larry Nassar. And SportSG took the lead following that highly publicized case. We took the lead in safe sport efforts here in Singapore. We started by having NSAs commit to zero tolerance against sexual harassment and abuse. We had our first safe sport forum in 2018. And that kind of kick-started the whole movement towards safeguarding sport a lot stronger by having coaches, having athletes, having sport administrators understand really the definition of safe sport. And we take alignment to what IOC defines it as 5 different forms of harassment and abuse. And that's something that we've been trying to educate all in the sporting fraternity through engagement efforts, through education, workshops. So we've done quite a number of that, and we plan to do a lot more of it. We've also since trained close to 100 safeguarding officers, and these safeguarding officers are from our various NSAs, IHLs, different organizations here in Singapore. So we really want to create this greater awareness of safe sport, and that's why in 2019 the Safe Sport Commission was appointed, and their role is really to provide us with that guidance. And the commission is made up of various individuals across different ministries and important organizations, and they provide guidance to the Safe Sport Task Force in what we need to do to improve and to continue to safeguard sport in Singapore.
Yeah, that's right. Education's so important at the moment. Just tell us which parties make up the Safe Sport Commission, and what are some of the safe sport strategies out there?
The Safe Sport Commission was formed in 2019. and the members are from different ministries, different agencies, such as Sport Singapore, obviously, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social and Family, the Singapore Police Force, People's Association. We also have representatives from the coaching fraternity, representative from the NSA or the National Sports Association, legal representative, as well as Athletes Commission. So we have a good mix of people from different ministries and different agencies, because we see, say, sport as a multiple agency or multi-agency effort. It requires everyone to play their part. In terms of the strategies, we have a three-pronged strategy looking at firstly, the education and awareness, secondly, prevention, and thirdly is about incident management. So a lot of initiatives, strategies that we've rolled out and will be rolling out in the coming months and years is really around these three areas of education and awareness, incident management, as well as prevention.
That's quite a few bodies that actually form the Safe Sport Commission. So I think the next question that's probably relevant here is that whose responsibility is it exactly when it comes to Safe Sport in terms of the governing authority? Who's responsible for Safe Sport in Singapore? Sport Singapore, Singapore Police Force, PA, whose responsibility is it really?
Well, sport is an activity that has got many parties to it, right? Many different stakeholders, like the participants themselves. They could be students, they could be adults, so the athletes, and you have the coaches, you have parents, you have the administrators in the National Sports Association or in the clubs, for example. So there are many parties to sport, and I think we all have a role to play. We all have a part to play in safeguarding sport, and that's the message that we want to get across to everyone in our sporting community, that you have a part to play in safeguarding sport in Singapore, not just SportSG as the governing body.
Okay, I guess so. Now the most important thing, if there is an issue, if there is an incident, how does an individual go out and make a report?
So one of the key things that we're trying to drive at this point in time is really that education and awareness, to ensure that everyone in our sporting community understands safe sport, what is the meaning of safe sport, what is deemed to be inappropriate, so that we can work together in safeguarding sport. So the tagline that we use is, if you see something, say something. And that starts with understanding what safe sport is, and therefore why the education and awareness is important. And I think secondly is where to go to seek help if you see something. And there is an email address, safe_sport@sport.gov.sg, that you can report to, or if you need to seek help. Also, in the many NSAs and organizations, we have safeguarding officers in place, and these are trained officers who will be able to help you and support you should there be a case that you see, that you report to them, or you yourself are involved in a safe sport incident. So that's something that we really want to establish in a big way here in Singapore.
Well, some important inputs there from Azhar. Really, really insightful stuff.
That's right. Of course, there are other avenues also that are being made available for by CoachSG and SportSG, not just this week or this month, but even in the months and the years ahead. I do understand that there are other initiatives, there are other webinars that will be made available, as well as content made online by Sport Singapore. So do keep a lookout for some of the links that will be made available to you shortly on this program. And remember that it is everyone's responsibility in safeguarding sport in Singapore.
We will see you after this break. All right, we are into the final segment of Evenings with John and Duncan. The Wednesday report. I'm on a bike, John. Why?
And for good reason, because during phase 2, we've pretty much seen everyone, or about everyone, heading out into the parks, into the city, doing their runs and cycling. And that's a big part of this segment today.
Okay.
Because if you have missed out on some of the events that are available, right till the end of August, we have two that we want to talk about right now. One is SG Spority, which is a virtual challenge that allows you to take part in your favorite sporting activity while supporting a social cause at the same time, running till the 31st of August.
Okay. Yeah, I think $5 that's going to be donated to the Rainbow Club, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I think, after 10 sign-ups, it helps support one individual. So that's going to be fantastic. So do sign up, support it until the end of August.
That's right, and you can do it either via cycling or running, and the target they're looking to hit for each individual is 5.5 kilometers. And as Duncan has mentioned, the beneficiaries of Club Rainbow Singapore will be helped with their daily necessities. Another event that is of a similar nature, of course, it's also a virtual concept of many of the events these days being hybridized, is the Virtual Sports Club. Now, this one is a bit more home-based in terms of the activities, such as Zumba, as well as other workout classes available.
Yeah.
But there is a race element to it that also involves cycling or running.
Yeah.
All right, and that's the reason why you're on a bicycle today.
Okay.
Because we're going to find out for Duncan just how long it takes for him to reach 1 kilometer on this bike here in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to calm me down? I'm going to do it, man.
Well, yes,
I'm pumped up.
We will be counting you down, and then I want everyone here to join me in timing Duncan to see how long it takes for him to reach 1 kilometer. Because for the virtual sports park, the 3 distances you can try to hit is 25 km, 75 km, or 150 km.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I just need to do one.
We're not going to do all of that today because this show would never end.
Yes.
But we're going to see how long it takes just to get 1 kilometer on the clock here on this bicycle in the studio. In the meantime, for all of you who are considering other avenues, if you're not trying to cycle, here are some of the top routes you can consider for running as well as cycling in Singapore with 3 of our Sports Singapore ambassadors, Natalie Dow, Ravin Kumar, and Loh Guo Pei.
Hi, I'm Natalie Dow, and I love running because it really is a stress reliever for me. I love being outdoors and exercising and taking in the great views that Singapore has to offer. The first route I'm going to show you today is around Marina Bay. So we're going to start at Fullerton and we're going to run around past the Merlion, by the water, past Marina Bay Sands, down to the barrage. We're going to come back and then we're going to run past the floating platform and down to the Esplanade. So there is so much to look at as you're running along. You know, it's close to my home and I call it my heritage route. So, you get the old and the new of Singapore. So running through Clarke Quay, then around through Boat Quay, you get to see what Singapore was really like in the past and is like today. So guys, that was the first part of the run. If you want to do 4 to 5 Ks, you turn around here. But if not, join me and we're going to keep going up to the barrage. Here we are on top of the barrage with the best view in town of Singapore. So this is part of the 10K loop. Right now we're going to run back around Marina Bay Sands and down around the river, and then that will get us home, back to Quayside and our 10K loop. So let's go. Yeah, so another favourite running route of mine is to start at the home of sport in Singapore at the National Stadium, and then we're going to see Singapore by the ocean, so we're going to run out along the East Coast and back again. Yeah, so you quite often see otters along the way, near Tanjong Roo. There's some great bridge crossings, and then of course the ocean breeze as you're running along is fantastic. Yeah, so the joy of running along the East Coast is you can keep going as far as you want to go without crossing any roads. I think if you're running down towards the halfway mark and back again, it's going to be about a 10K run, so a nice distance. But if you want to extend that, feel free to go all the way to Tanamera. You can be running along the water. You've got a great view of the Singapore skyline from a distance as well. And then there's so many water activities. You know, there's nothing better than watching the National Dragon Boat team training as you're running alongside them. So, you know, it's really a hidden gem.
Hi, my name is Guo Pei. I'm here to share with you my favorite running route. So my two favorite routes over here will be one will be the Northern Course, and the right side here will be the Broad Walk actually. So the Broad Walk is actually just by the water, and it's very nice and comfortable. Like that is usually about 5 kilometers run. Then the other side will be the Northern Course. It's much more challenging. That's where I would really want to push myself, and that's whenever I feel like doing some fast runs and really hard run. It's about 3.5 kilometers one direction. So to turn back, it's about 7 kilometers. What I really like about Macritchie, it's actually the environment here. It's very peaceful when you're running in the forest. There's no traffic disturbance and all, and it's just you and the nature. That's all.
Hi, my name is Ravin, and today I'm going to show you my favorite running route around Botanics Gardens. Yep. I really love running because it keeps me active. But other than also keeping active, it's part of my competitive edge. Running is the sport that I love to do, and it's a solo effort. Even though it requires a big team, the whole village to come and train you up. But at the moment of competition, you're the one that's performing. So running is something that I'll always be doing, and I don't see that I'll be stopping anytime soon. So specifically in Jacob Baller's garden, the terrain here is amazing. It's flat, but there's also a small amount of slopes for you to start training, start getting your body adapted to slope training before you go out and tackle the bigger slopes like in Mount Faber and so on and so forth. Yeah. So you can have a small loop of like maybe 1K, 900 meters to 1 kilometer. But if you want a slightly longer loop, there is a 2 kilometer loop. There's even a 3.8 kilometer loop. So you have quite a good varying amount of distances, and that can help you plan your training and with your coach or with your team and see if you want to do a shorter interval, if you want to do a longer interval.
I like this route because you are always above the canopy and all. You get to see Singapore from a different point of view.
Even though we're running above most of the canopy, the foliage from the bigger trees provide shade, and yeah, you can do loops around here. You can clock up to a good 15K.
For new runners or people who just started out running, I would say that they could actually take short breaks in between. While they are going the slopes, they can walk up the slopes. Then other than that, when it's a flat ground, they could actually go slow, easy jog, then up and down a bit and enjoy the scenery.
So the thing for advanced runners or runners with more experience, I think something that you need to consider is bringing your own hydration. So even though there's water coolers here, it's kind of hard to find them. So what you should do is just bring a water bottle. Another thing that you need to be mindful is traffic. I think even though it looks a bit secluded and a bit low on traffic, there are times where at certain bends you might not be able to see it.
I like running because it makes me feel free, number one. Number two, it makes me feel good. It relaxes my mind. Number three, it's really the adrenaline rush that I will get from all the runners.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the top 5 running route ideas we had with our Sport Singapore ambassadors that you can also incorporate for your cycling. Back here in the studio, Duncan has clocked his 1 kilometer on this bicycle within a minute and a half. So well done, Duncan.
I feel accomplished. That was
Feel
tough.
accomplished.
That was tough.
Yeah. Well, certainly some very scenic routes we just saw as well.
Yep.
Took some of the stress away while staring at the screen, I'm pretty sure.
I feel very stress-free right now.
If you want to have an encounter with nature and experience that firsthand, you can do so right now across the various parks that are available in Singapore.
All right, that's it for Evenings with John and Duncan. The Wednesday report is over. I'm glad it's over because I just need to lie down after that 1 kilometer sprint race that you made me do, John. But that's it for this particular episode. Who do we have next?
Well, we have 2 up-and-coming Team Singapore bowlers coming on this Friday to the Athletes Game Show. Both of them did really well in the Asian Youth Championships last year, so really looking forward to this very fun edition of the game show.
All right, so 9 p.m. on Get Active TV and One Play Sports this Friday. We will see you then. Bye.
See ya.